heart is racing, my mind is running, and it is time for another episode of Ant-Archy. We are now on episode 3, and we are talking about college life. If you missed the previous 2 episodes, the first one we talked about men's mental health. The one thing I want you to know, check up on your male counterparts, friend, dad, coworker, whatever. Check up on them and make sure they're okay. Episode 2, we talked about youth sports. We all see the problem with youth sports today, and we all know what's going on the sidelines, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But now today, we are going to talk about college life. We're going to talk about the pre-college process, college in between, and what we're going to do post-graduation. Today, I have some 3 crazy new characters today, and they're all brand new to the show. So let's bring them on stage. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So, up first, we have Jamari, we have Brian, and we have Aubrey. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you guys all 1 minute to introduce yourselves, say your name, the college you went to, the major that you graduated with, and anything else you want to say to anybody. Jamari, you go first.
Got you. So my name is Jamari. I am a YouTuber. I'm an artist. I don't want to say drawer because a lot of people say drawer all the time, but I'm a visual artist. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a lot of things, art, and I'm not sure if I said it already, but I'm also a YouTuber. So I do drawing tutorials uploaded to YouTube every day, not every day, every week. And I went to Bowie State University, graduated 7 months ago today. That would be December 2023. I majored in visual communication, digital media art, VCDMA for short, and I got a bachelor's of science in Bachelor's of Science.
All right, Jamari. And if I'm not mistaken, you're hailing from the same hometown as me, right? St. Mary's County, Great Mills, Maryland?
Yeah, homeboy since preschool.
Yes,
Like, you know
sir.
that.
Homeboys, we up. Came from St. Mary's. We putting St. Mary's on the map. All right,
Hey,
Aubrey.
yo, yes.
Aubrey, can you tell me about yourself?
Sure. My name's Aubrey. I also went to the illustrious Bowie State University. I also have a degree in my crap. I messed up, but I'm also in VCDMA with a concentration in animation. I was a teacher a couple months ago. No longer a teacher. Um, I do other things like draw, animate, game. I was a YouTuber at one point. I kind of quit that, so yeah.
All right, that sounds so great, Aubrey. I know whatever you got next coming up is going to be great. And now, last but not least, Pastor, my favorite roommate in all of college, Brian. What's up with you, my boy? Talk to us.
My name is Brian. What's good, everybody? I went to Bowie State where I met these wonderful people. I majored in psychology, got my bachelor's of science in that. I am not a YouTuber. I probably would not get enough views to be a YouTuber, but I do make Instagram videos. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we have now met all 3 of our panelists, and I guess it's time to introduce myself. My name is Anthony Greenfield, and I am a former graduate of the Bowie State University. I graduated in December 2023 with a sports management major. I was a computer science at first, but I changed over to sports management. And now I have my concentration in broadcast journalism. So this is why I'm doing this. This is something I wanted to do, along with sports commentary. But this is something I wanted to do. So let's get into our first question of the day. So let's start with the pre-college process. Can you tell me why you chose Bowie State, and if it wasn't your first choice? Brian, let's start with you.
All right. Was Bowie State my first choice? No, it was not. I applied to a school. What was it called? It was called Ferrum. It was in Virginia, literally in the middle of nowhere. Things were not going good with that, so my godmom's son suggested Bowie, and we actually drove down and had lunch with Dr. Bro, toured the campus, everything. I came home and I prayed about it, and God was like, "Yep, that's where I want you to go." I'd only been there one time, walked on the campus one time, didn't know anything about Bowie, but God said go, so I had to be obedient, and I went. But no, Bowie was not my first choice.
In Jesus' name we pray, amen,
Amen.
brother. Amen, brother. All right. Jamari, was Bowie your first choice? And if it wasn't, what was your first choice?
Bowie was not my first choice. My first choice was actually Frostburg State. So,
Mm.
my first college tour, it was at Frostburg. I liked the atmosphere and everything. I did get accepted into Frostburg, and then I'd say like a few months later, I took a class trip to, I forget where it was, but it was like HBCU Fest or the HBCU Festival. That's where I met Coach Webb, and like I'm still in contact with him today. So I met Coach Webb. I showed him my SAT scores and everything. I did the application process, and heard back saying I got accepted. So to me, it was either Frostburg or Bowie. So I did some research on Bowie State's. No, I did some research on Bowie State, and then later, and then like a couple of months later, I took a tour of Bowie State's campus and figured, hey, I need an HBCU. That's where my people are. So I chose Bowie State. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that $200 non-refundable feedback from Frostburg, but I chose Bowie.
Hey man, that 200 non-refundable will kick us in the butt every time. Aubrey, was Bowie your first choice? And if it wasn't, why or why not?
I'm probably going to be the only one to say this, but yeah, Bowie was my first choice. I did not start high school out well, so my GPA was extremely low. Not ashamed to say it. It is what it is. So I only had a couple options. I only applied to Bowie and Delaware. Yeah, I made the right choice with choosing Bowie because Delaware's honestly it's just as bad. But hey, nothing against people who go to Delaware. But yeah, Bowie was my first choice, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it.
That's good to hear. That's actually great to hear. So it seems like Jamari has left us for the time being, and hopefully he'll be able to come back. So now it's my turn to chip in. In terms of sports, Bowie was my first choice. I will always remember I was sitting in my my high school football coach's classroom, right before practice started, and he asked me like, "Hey, Greenfield, like, you want to go to college, right?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." He's like, "Where you want to go?" I was like, I definitely want to go to, I really want to go to Bowie because I saw that at the time, Bowie had like some good gaming classes that I wanted to get into. So he kept trying to push me to, hey, go to Towson, go to Towson. I'm like, I'm not going to Towson, coach. I want to go to Bowie. Like, I actually want to go there. So, excuse me. So Bowie was my first choice since sophomore year of high school. So then I started exploring out more. And I also wanted to go to Full Sail University down in Florida. And that was a bag, and I didn't have it. So I locked down Bowie, and I went on a couple visits. I talked to a few people. And lo and behold, a few of my family members, they were former Bulldogs, like they're alumni Bulldogs. And they graduated in like the early 2000s, late 1990s. So I knew that was like home for me. So, but in my immediate family, like my mom, my dad, my stepdad, I was the first gen. I may have like distant family that graduated from there, but my immediate family, I was the only person to go to a college and actually graduate. So Bowie was my first choice, and from that point on, since I stepped on as a freshman, I don't regret any choice that I made. Well, I lied. I regret a few choices, but hey, it is what it is, and it made me who I am today. All right, so now let's get into our second question. So we're staying with the pre-college process. Can everybody tell me what was your first thought as a freshman going into Bowie State? Aubrey, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, I was actually familiar with the campus because just like everybody else toured the campus, I've actually been on campus multiple times. And I don't know about y'all, but I was at the what was it? It was like a thing that happened over the summer where you got to stay
BSA.
like
Bro,
yeah.
BSA was
BSA
lit.
was,
I
yeah.
love BSA,
It was fun.
BSA was
Yeah.
it.
And that actually helped me more with learning the campus because they would take us around the campus and stuff. We actually got to see the dorms. I was in Towers. Y'all, who was in Haley?
I was in Haley. I remember this. I was in Haley, 5th floor, suite 510. No, suite 540. Because I remember my college roommate at the time was my former high school teammate Troy, and we stayed in room 544. Oh, that was the times.
Yeah, I stayed on the one side of Towers. It was the opposite side of where I would eventually stay. But I stayed in Towers, which was good because freshman year I stayed in Towers. So that helped a lot. And then not only that, I was just ready to I had a whole different mindset. High school, I was goofing around, grades were bad, didn't really care, was not putting any effort. So when I came to Bowie, I had a different mindset. I wasn't going to fool around. I was going to actually like do any work that was assigned to me. Like I was going to take it serious. So coming in for me, it was game time. And not only that, it's like I was going to be by myself. Granted, I was only like 45 minutes away from where I live. But still, it's like I'm not going to have immediate access. I don't have a car, don't have my license, don't have none of that. So for me, I was ready to go.
Whoa, that sounds great. Leon! What's up, Leon? Wow, just don't say hi,
Hey.
meanie. Brian, can you tell us what was your first thought about being a freshman in college?
My first thought when I got to Bowie was, let me not ruin my life. Because you think about it, like I'm literally like from Hagerstown. Like I really didn't leave Hagerstown much. This was my first time like on my own. There were people, they were like, yeah, you're gonna come back to Hagerstown, tail tucked between your legs and all that. But I went in with the same mindset of, listen, like this is a chance for me to either get forward in life or take like 100 steps back. So I went in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna resist all the sin I can. Let me I was like, listen, my professors, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because if I flunk out of college, my mom's gonna be pretty mad. So I just went in and I'm like, okay, one, I can do this. But I will say there was a little bit of fear in me. But once I like met people like Ant, and we were like chilling in homes, watching football games and laughing at dumb stuff and roasting Orlando and all that stuff, like all of that just disappeared. So
I know exactly who you talk about.
Bro, Orlando. I'm just remembering all the times that we would come in from the caf and we see Orlando at the desk. Brian, hey Brian, what did one of our friends say to Orlando?
Yeah, he walked like, to Orlando. He's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Bro,
Orlando looks at us and he goes, I'm about to start piecing y'all in the chest.
But he took our visitation so much. Oh man. So Jamari, what was your first thought as a freshman going into Bowie?
So my thought was actually the location, where Bowie's located. So like I said earlier, we're from St. Mary's County, so there's not much, stuff down here pretty much. But when we got to Bowie, we were close to the DC area, and there's a lot of stuff in DC. It's basically a cityscape. So I wasn't familiar with any cityscape. So once I figured out that Bowie had the train, as a MARC train and Amtrak or whatever, I took the train to DC one day and I started exploring DC because it was my first time there by myself. It was a little scary because my grandma warned me that, she watches the news about DC a lot. So she's like, be careful out there, yada, yada, yada. My grandma looking out for me, so that's nothing wrong with that. But I just like exploring the location, what else is around here, what else I can get familiar with, what other opportunities I can look forward to. So I didn't just get familiar with the campus, I also got familiar with what else is around Bowie. Because, if you're in Bowie, there's a town center. There's also, if you've been to DC, which you probably have, there's Howard University. So that's one of the neighboring HBCUs next to Bowie. So I didn't visit Howard until my senior year, but since we're talking about freshman year, I went to an art store in DC. So I referred it to my friends in the art department that there's an art store in DC that I've never been to. So that's basically my thoughts of attending Bowie State my freshman year. The location, getting familiar with everything that's around Bowie, pretty much.
I think me and you have similar experiences when it comes to stepping and being a first-time freshman, Jamari. But mine's a little different. Just like Aubrey, I was a part of BSA. My mentor was Namdi, and he stayed. I think he stayed on the 5th floor with us. I think he was like on the other side of the hall. I don't know, but yeah, I went to BSA too. And I started back in 2019. I still know a handful of friends that we all did BSA together. I don't know if we still have our chat on GroupMe. I don't know, but my first experience walking on as a freshman, it was really, I'm ready to tackle all this because I wanted to get out of St. Mary's County because I knew there was nothing down there for me. I was not ready to stay in a county that's an hour and a half from DC. I mean, my family's from there, my people's is from there, but there's nothing there. The only thing that's down at St. Mary's is CSM, crabs, what is it? The Chesapeake Bay Jamori, and that one Walmart that everybody goes to. Like that's the only thing that's down there. So I decided to go up. To Bowie, and then when I got there, I remember one conversation my dad told me. He said, and I quote, "My dad told me, you're about to surpass me. You already have, but now I want you to actually go through college and finish." And I took those words and I ran with it the entire 4 years I was in college. Just having the mindset of I can surpass my dad just for graduating college is a different grind. I'm pretty sure people out there in the audience can feel or know what I'm talking about when a parent is trying to give you some kind of motivation to say you're already doing better than me. You're already surpassing me. But now I want you to go even farther. That's a different kind of grind that you actually want to hold yourself accountable to. So my first thought as a freshman was just, let's get it done. Let me find out who I am. Let me see what I like. Let me do what I do. And when I get out, I want to have a job lined up. I want to start my career. I want to have something lined up for myself to say I didn't go to college for 4 years just to go out, smoke, drink, go to parties, and do all that other stuff. So, third question. We're kind of going to move this along a little bit more, but I have a question from somebody that I asked over on my Instagram. By the way, is Clutchy Ant with 2 Y's. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, or you guys have questions too that you want to ask, just drop them down in my DMs, and I'll bring them onto the show. So I asked one of my friends, and I asked her. I said, "Hey, can you give me like a college related question? It can be any question, no matter." So one of the questions she gave me was, "What does it mean to be a young Black adult in college?"
Ooh.
Let's answer that one first. So, Brian, can you answer me, what does it mean to be a young Black adult in college?
It means a lot, considering all the things that the people before us had to go through just to get us to where we are now. It means everything, especially because, and I'm going to be honest, because of the reputation that young African Americans have already. All we do is sag our pants and walk around with pit bulls and smoke weed and all that other stuff. Like, we already got that reputation, but now it's like, hey, let's switch this narrative and show people, no, we're actually able to do these things. Why? Because now we have a set focus on it, and it's about, like we were all saying, it's about moving forward and saying surpassing our parents and even surpassing the limitations that society puts on us.
That is a great explanation, Brian. I could not say it better myself. Jamari, can you tell me what it means to be a young Black adult in college?
Well, yeah, Brian makes a good point about Black adults coming before us that had to go through a certain amount of things. Like, because a lot of people see Black people as like, just like what Brian said, guys that sag their pants and then smoke and party all day. So what I feel it means to be a Black adult is to kind kind of change that, like change people's perspective on Black people, because there are some people in the world who see Black people as like negative, have negative feelings towards Black people. Like there is such a thing as like a Karen and a Kevin, if you don't know what that is. But I feel as being a Black adult, especially one going to college, would be to change people's perspective on Black people. Being our age, and I'm not sure if this question refers to Black people being in college, but if you're going to college, your life's pretty much changing, right? You're experiencing a once in a lifetime opportunity, so that way you can build upon what it means to be a college graduate, and at an HBCU. In this case, you get to learn what people had to go through before us, and be able to help change people's perspective on Black people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That makes perfect sense, Jamari. So let's see if Aubrey has a better answer. No, I'm just kidding. Aubrey.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't even say anything.
My fault,
I didn't say
Jamari.
anything.
Jamari, you're my guy. You're my guy. You're my guy. But Aubrey,
No.
can you tell me what it means to be a young Black adult in college?
You know what's funny? I looked at it differently because for me, I'm a female, and so it's different for me and how I think about things. And I think the biggest thing for me was trying to build a community for myself, trying to find like people, because there were only maybe 2 people that I knew before Bowie.
Yeah.
So everything else was entirely new. I'm by myself. I'm an only child. I don't like it's just me and my mom. So coming in, the first thing I
A little bit. Uh-oh. Aubrey, you still there? I think she froze. Okay. Well, what is it? What it means for me to be a young Black adult in college? It really tells me on who I can be, who I'm striving to be, and also who came before me. No matter if I'm no matter if you're a first gen student or not, college is really somewhere to where you can find yourself and you can see what you truly like. Because when you're in high school, you do a lot of stupid things. Because you're in your hometown, you're doing whatever. But when you really get to college, when you're away from home, when you're out by yourself and it's you and one other person in a dorm, that's telling you like, okay, so what should I do? Because I'm staying with somebody for a whole semester or a whole school year, and this person has totally different living expectations. This person may be too dirty for my liking. This person may smoke in a room. I've had roommates to where they would literally smoke weed in the rooms, and the fumes would come like in the room, and like it would just linger, and like it would stink. But other times I didn't really mind it. But when they did it excessively, like the wake and bake kind of people, those kind of got on my nerves. But being a young Black adult in college is really telling you to say, go out there and explore, because college isn't just your local neighborhoods and whatever. College is multiple people around the world coming to one institution, and they have something to offer that maybe you don't even know. Some girl may start a hair curling business on campus. Some guy may want to start a black nerd group. I was part of the New Blurred Order on campus, and what an experience. And somebody may want to be an athlete. So it's just all about what you do. So I seen that we have a comment about the next question. Can we bring that comment back up? I actually want to answer that. What was y'all's biggest challenge in college? Ooh, I actually got
I got a couple. I got a couple.
I got
a lot too.
I'm about to say.
Where do you want me to start? How much time do you have? Because I have a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I have one of the biggest things.
I have way too many.
I know me and Brian could definitely relate. It's not having cars.
Oh,
especially when
Yeah.
you need, especially when you
yeah,
need to
I can see that.
especially like during that like senior and junior year where you're starting to have more needs and you have to like, for me like senior year especially, I had to and right, you know about this for our senior project, like we had to do business cards and stuff like that. Like I'm having to place orders like
Oh
30
yeah.
minutes away, and so it's like not everybody is running on the same time as me. So
Yeah.
when I need something done, I don't got a car to take me. Now I do, but when we was on
True.
Bowie, like seriously, like obviously sophomore year we were home. Freshman year that we couldn't have cars. You weren't allowed to. But
Yeah.
junior, senior year, yeah, I definitely felt the need.
Which
Professors.
we was whipping.
Yep,
You could,
professors is a challenge all on its own, depending on who you get. Ugh.
yeah,
Um,
it's a mess, man.
Trying to
You could, you,
maintain your GPA while also trying to also experience college, because who wants to be in their dorm all day just doing nothing? Even if you're not like a party person like that, there's other things you can do. You can go to football games or any other stuff. Like
yeah.
I'm glad I made friends, at least for me, because I'm an introvert, so I don't really like going outside. But because I had friends, I'm like, all right, we can go and do this. That's a couple of mine. I want to hear yours.
Oh, and look,
Oh,
I'm in
I
the
got
same
plenty.
boat as you, Aubrey. I'm an introvert too. I don't like going outside as much, but if you really know me and you know how loud I am and how like energetic I am, you would have thought like, oh yeah, he likes being outside. He's very popular. Like, no, I'm not. You can ask Brian. Half the time when I got home from work or if I just came back from class, all I would do was just play video games all
That
day.
ain't do
I would
nothing.
play Mortal Kombat. I would play Madden. I would do whatever assignment. I would not go outside for any reason. I
Nope.
didn't care if there was like a whole like group full of like good looking girls down the promenade. I'm not saying I'm scared of them, but I'm just it's really no point in talking to them because what are they gonna give me? You know what I'm saying? But one challenge I can, you know what? I have one. One of my biggest challenges in college definitely had to have been keeping up with like the dorm stuff. And Brian can really vouch for me on this one. When it came to A, living with someone else, two, having being punished for something you didn't even do and something you weren't even a part of. And three, every single hour. I'll start in homes just for you, Brian and Jamari. I'll start in homes every
Good
single
man.
hour. I like let's say right. Let's say you get home from class. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna invite this girl over. We're gonna do some, we're gonna do some work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch a movie. We're gonna chill out. Next thing you know, 10 minutes later, there's a message in the group meet building chat, and it says, "Yeah, y'all lost visitation. Look at this." And it's like a
Look
pack
at
full of
this.
hot dogs in the toilet. I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, I was saying the hot dog incident.
Dog. It's like living with other people. It would make or break your college experience because they're unpredictable. You don't know what they're gonna do. I've had Brian and Jamari. You guys have had instances to where living with somebody is killing your experience.
Oh, wait, Ant, you
Yes,
forgot
yes,
about me.
exactly. Preach,
Oh yeah, Aubrey, you
preach.
too. I know about you, Aubrey. But Brian, let me hear what's your greatest challenge in college.
My biggest challenge in college, by far, and I know y'all not gonna believe me, but I'm telling you, my biggest challenge in college was definitely staying focused. Like it seems
Yeah,
odd because
listen
I'm
at
a very
Bowie.
focused
Oh yeah,
person,
it's staying
but
focused.
it was hard because it's like even in like smaller instances where it's like I really have to stick to my guns, like my faith, my morals, all that stuff. And it's just that one voice saying, well, everyone else is doing it. Well, they're going to think this. Well, they're going to think that. And then it was just another one for me. And you can attest to this because someone who will remain unnamed said it a lot. Um,
I know
my
what you're talking about.
Aubrey, you can say it too. Though, like
I know what you're talking
my
about.
time was like non-existent. Like even when I became an RA, Jamari knows it got really bad. Like you had no time for nothing. Oh, can you sit for me?
Bro,
I gotta go. I gotta
you
go
took my,
pee. Oh, I got. oh man, I gotta go to the pub, and oh man, I'm sitting here pooping my guts out. Can you please sit for me? Like,
Oh
it
no!
was just
Oh no!
so much. Like, my time was just
Oh, never mind. You
gone.
didn't take my.
Oh
Like,
yeah, y'all both were RAs.
my time was gone, man. And I was woken up all the time, but I locked myself out. My
I hate
roommate did this.
Yo,
Like, bro,
y'all
leave me
y'all
alone.
know the struggle. You not know the struggle.
Y'all do not
Y'all
know,
know the
man.
y'all
Y'all
know the
don't know.
struggle. I haven't been plenty of times. I haven't been plenty of times. Please don't know. I know you lock yourself out your room. Please don't do that. I know what you go. I know what you went through, Brian. Please. I
Man,
got it.
No, there's one thing that
goodness.
only one other person can attest to, and that's them fire alarms going off in
boy.
the LLC almost every night.
Bruh. Yo.
Yo,
There's only one other
No,
person in here
no,
that knows the same
no.
pain I was going through.
oh
Junior
It,
man,
year, whole brand new building, but for some reason, the fire alarms keep going off. And it'd be the worst time. 10 at night, 11 at night, 2 in the morning.
well, y'all
Shoot,
should have got
fight
tents and
a
slept outside.
That's definitely happened.
no,
I should
no.
have got
One story,
tapes.
no. One time, there was a
No,
thing at Party HQ.
definitely.
There was a fight at Party HQ that came back to campus, and so for some odd reason, Haley fire alarms went off, CMRC fire alarms went off that night, ELOC fire alarms went off that night because people was fighting all throughout campus.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look, man. It just sounds like bottom line. College is stressful. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we've all graduated for 4 years, and we all been in college for 4 years. College is stressful. But let's get into at least 2 more questions. Also, CC, I appreciate you for that question. If you got any more, just drop them in the chat, and we'll talk about it. So let's get to at least 2 more questions before we get up out of here.
All right.
I asked another one of my friends, Brian. This one likes to bust in our room when they're upstairs at a certain somebody's. She'll knock on the door and scream, "Hey, friends!" You know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say her name.
Hey,
Listen, if she sees this, I'm sorry. Don't hurt.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not sorry at all.
Today.
I'm not
Okay.
sorry at all.
So 2 more questions. One of the questions that she asked, this was actually a really good one. She says, "What should I do?" Or like, if I'm struggling in college, who would I turn to, and where would I go? And like, if you're ever struggling in college with a class, with let's say with drama on campus, or maybe college is just heavy, you know, it's like you have a lot bearing down on you, and the back of your mind is telling you you paid 10, 15 grand for all this, and you would still have that 10, 15 grand afterwards, but don't drop out. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't drop out of college.
No.
But
Don't do it.
if you guys are struggling, how would you handle it, and who would you talk to? Aubrey, let's start with you.
Well, shoot, I'm not the most healthy. If anything, the first place I turn to is the group me's, because at least with the group me's, everybody is going through the exact same thing. You're always gonna have a group me for a class, and I know for me, there was one class where the teacher was practically failing everybody. You know, people was getting accused of
No.
I can't think of the name. Not forgery, plagiarizing.
Prism.
Yeah,
Oh, plagiarism.
yeah, people were getting accused of
I had the same
plagiarism.
teacher. I know you talk about.
Yep. And and she was failing about almost everybody in the class. So, it's one of those things where just have to stick together in that one. For me, I just had to go through it. I just had to get it done because especially that them last 2 years, I had no time. I was actually behind. I was probably going to graduate when you guys graduated in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But I said no. I said I was going to graduate spring 23. So if I got to take 6, 7 classes in one semester, that's what I'm going to do and stress myself out, But it's just me. If anything, I definitely recommend you talk to people on campus, talk to your friends, talk to your professors, because there will be some professors that understand you and will talk to you. Talk to the head of your department if that's an option. say it's the opposite. For me, if I had trouble with something, I would talk to the partner because they would find that's what I would do.
Nice. I love it. I love that kind of answer, Aubrey. Definitely talk to whoever you can talk to. Jamari, can you tell us if you ever struggled in college, who did you turn to and who did you talk to?
So I actually speak from experience. So I actually put myself at a higher level. So this was during my senior year. It was my first year being at all freshman residents. So my freshman residents, they were actually having trouble with their roommates. So I'm not sure if this answers your question, but with my freshman residents, they were all having trouble with each other. Like literally everybody on my floor was having some type of what is it? Not division, I forget the word, but they always had a problem with their roommate. So they always turned to me, and they weren't really having trouble with their academics or whatever. So they turned to me, and I had some words of wisdom to offer them. So like, it was a lot of freshman residents, and there would be just this one resident who was like, every time I walked through the hall, everyone stared me down, spreading rumors about me, yada yada yada. So what I did was I got her alone, and I talked with her, gave her some words of wisdom, because Brian, like that one thing Miss Mercer always tells us, room changes are not guaranteed. Like
Yep.
I know she told you that plenty of times, but I kept telling her that that's not guaranteed. So based on everyone she's around, every time she leaves to go out and do something or whatever, she's always passing them in the hallway. So she just feels like she's just targeted or whatever. So what I did was I talked with her. I told her to be the bigger person, give her some words, help encourage her, help her get through her first freshman year, her first freshman semester actually, and told her to be the bigger person rather than playing their little game instead of taking what they say to heart or what they do to heart actually. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but that's what
It surely does.
I spoke from experience.
Hey, look, it surely does, and I'm happy that you got through it. Brian, I'm gonna give you a time limit because I know how long you can
stop
go.
it. Stop it.
Brian, if we talked about your struggles in college, we'll be here for 2 days. But in all seriousness,
Hey, yo.
Brian, if you were struggling in college, who did you turn to and who did you talk to?
Well, first I turned to God because God's my rock. I can't do anything without him.
Amen, brother.
Aside from that, I mainly went to like my pastors, my mentors, and I mainly went to upperclassmen because I'm like, listen, these people have been where I'm currently at. At some point or another, to some capacity or another, these people have been where I'm at, and they can help me because, like Jamari said, even when I became an RA, like we had this wisdom, like we had this experience, we can help you. So just go to people who've been there and done that.
Great.
Yeah, like your RAs are more than likely upperclassmen.
Yeah.
I would definitely
turn to your RA.
I would definitely turn to any upperclassmen. I will say, when I came in as a freshman, I had a mentor, and his name was Thaddeus, and I still remember him to this day. And when I talked to Thaddeus, he will always tell me on what to do, what not to do in college. If I ever needed academic help, I could go to the tutors on campus. If I ever needed help with emotions, mentally, physically, any kind of help, seek out friends. Brian can vouch for this one, but starting freshman year, my friend group was massive. I had 20, 25 people in my friend group. And then as time went on, now here comes senior year, I only have 5. I mean, I still know those 30. Like, I still know those people, but I don't talk to those people on a daily basis. Now I have 5 people that I talk to pretty much every day. So, last thing. There may be some high school seniors out there that's trying to choose for a college. And let me start with this. How do I choose the right college? And the one thing I want to tell you of choosing the right college is make sure you're comfortable of going to and from home. That's me. if the school is too far for you, like Bowie's an hour and a half from St. Mary's County, and I'm cool with it. Bowie wasn't that much too. Also, in-state tuition. Always do in-state tuition. Don't do out-of-state. Not unless you got like a scholarship or something. But always go in-state. It's way cheaper. But look at the distance between there and home, because you're gonna get homesick. I'm telling you. And in-state tuition. In-state tuition is like a third of the price of out-of-state. So, Jamar, let's start with you. How do you choose the right college?
So I would say choosing the right college involves choosing the right program, because not every college would offer an art program. Like, I'm just speaking from my experience. I'm an artist. So when I was in high school, choosing a college, I want to make sure that the school that I'm choosing has a good art program. So I just wanted to keep doing some research. I wanted to make sure that the school offered a good art program, but not just towards academics. Make sure the school has make sure the school offers some activities that you want to be a part of. Like, the one we attended has SGA and CAB. I worked alongside SGA my senior years, but I wasn't officially on SGA. You know, every college has that. But make sure the college that you're looking for has lots of opportunity to look for too. So not just location wise, but make sure that if you want to be a part of this club, that club, make sure you do some research for that, because that's what you need to do, rather than just looking at, hey, I qualified for this college, hey, I qualified for that one. Make sure it has everything that you're looking for.
Thank you for that, Jamari. Aubrey, how would you choose the right college?
Well, like for me, make sure you choose a place that you know you'll be safe. Because
Yeah.
I know for me as a
Yeah,
senior, I was so desperate to find school. They would have these little meetings where you can meet the people from the representing the colleges. I went to a meeting for Lynchburg.
Mm-hmm.
That deserves its own 30-second moment of silence. Why would me as a black female go to a place called Lynchburg?
Horrible.
Hey,
I just caught on what
get
you
back
just
there
said. I was
laughing.
like, wait, huh?
I'm dead serious.
I was like, wait. Hold
Yeah,
on.
and
Come on, man.
Hey,
Come on, man.
Hey, you set him off. The funniest
yeah,
thing
like
ever.
if you want to
No,
go to a
no,
school in Virginia,
no,
make sure it's a safe
stop
place
it.
in
Aubrey,
Virginia.
no, hush.
No,
Stop
don't go into
it.
detail.
No, you're done. Don't say
We
nothing
don't
else.
need the details.
Brian, come on, close out, Brian.
All right.
Because I was with the school called
All
Lynchburg.
right, we're done. No, we're done.
Aubrey, you're done.
All right.
Don't you speak no more, Aubrey.
You're not going to Lynchburg. We got it. All right. So, for me, it was prayer, safety, and honestly, like Jamari said, just make sure like where you go has what you want. Because college is an investment, and if you don't, like the program or there's parts that are missing, don't invest in it, because ultimately, it's your career that you're going to be set up for. And if you're not careful, don't do your research. This is another thing. Do your research so that you get the most of your investment and your time is not wasted.
All right. Well,
Or your money.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
money,
Hey, no more. You know what? Give me my single shot. Come on. Give it to me. Give me my single shot. Thank you. So, I actually have one more question, but I'm going to answer it. And what should you do in the sense of networking for college? Well, I have one quick, easy response to that. Always be ready. You don't know who you're going to run into, whether if it's in a classroom, if it's in the student center, if it's in whatever building is on campus. Always be presentable to wherever you're going. Networking is very, very crucial in college. I can vouch for that. The way that I got this show was Leon Thomas. I met him through a college classroom with Dr. Anderson, one of my sports management professors. And give me my single shot again, man. No, I don't want to see these crazy people move. Get away. Thank you. So, yeah. You made me lose my train of thought. Good Lord. But yeah, with Dr. Anderson and always be ready for for networking. You don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who you're going to come across. You don't even know who is going to introduce you to somebody. So networking in college is extra important. If you don't network in college, you're missing on a lot of opportunities to start your career. So instead of you already having a step in the door, or you already have an inside ear to whatever business you're trying to get into, instead of that, if you don't network, you're starting from the ground up. Don't hurt yourself. Actually get out there, actually network, and go make something for yourself. Build your own legacy starting from freshman year. Don't start at junior year. Start from freshman year. So that way you have something to build off of coming off of your junior year. Senior year, you can start a podcast, you can start a business, you do whatever. And then coming out of college, you already have a year's worth of experience. You're a year ahead of the game. I would definitely do that. But that is all we have for today. Thank you so much to every single one of the great panelists today. We are all graduates of Bowie State University. And I definitely saw one of my friends down there in the comments. Daisha, I love you, Daisha. That's my best friend. That's my, yeah. Love you, Daisha. You got anything you want to say to Daisha, Brian? Because I see your face. Yeah, go ahead, Brian. He's listening. She's listening
You
now.
probably have something mean to say, but I love you. I love
Come
you.
on, man. Don't be putting me on the spot like that. Hi, Deja. Hope you're Deja. Yeah, that's not your name. Hi, Deja.
What's good, Deja?
Hope you're doing well.
Don't get
I'm
hurt,
gonna be
Brian.
nice
That's all I'm
today.
saying. That's all I'm gonna say, Brian.
Don't get hurt by who? Hurt by who?
Hey. Not right now.
That's the start.
But thank you so much for everybody that tuned in today. We will definitely be back next week. And I'm going to tell you right now, next week's topic is just going to be a general conversations topic. I'm just going to throw general questions at you. And if you want to join in, hey, the comment section is open. Everybody is free. So if you missed this episode, if you know somebody that missed this episode, you can view it on my Instagram at Clutchy Ant with 2 Y's. That's Clutchy 2 Y's Ant. Then you can also look at my Twitter. I post highlights on there too. My Twitter is Big Dog Ant 4, Big DAWG Ant 4. And lastly, my email. You can email me any questions, concerns you have about the show, anything you want to join in. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. All right? Everybody, please stay blessed, stay safe, stay passionate. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for having us.